Training a totally untrained dog is one thing, but trying to train them when your routine and environment are changing every single day does present a new set of challenges. You know, exactly like we're doing, traveling across 2 nations on our way to Alaska. Subscribe to see the most dynamic dog training series we've ever made. Today, I'm going to show you how I train dogs to be obedient in the face of some of the deadliest animals in North America.
Inertia, there's a moose over there.
Which has become a very real concern with our new super mobile lifestyle. And we continue to be reminded of how unpredictable things can really be. Okay, we need to talk about something that happened while you were letting Veronica out.
Veronica went from totally fine to this crazy foamy mouth in just like a second.
That is alarming.
The closest vet of any kind was 40 minutes away.
That is one of the risks of traveling like this too. We're often very far away from medical care.
I have a bunch of vet friends in my pocket I can text and ask about this.
Fuzzy is a telehealth service so that you can use the power of your iPhone videos, pictures, and actually get someone on the line via text, a medical professional like that.
I spend about 300% less time panic Googling doomsday scenarios about our dogs because I could just text Fuzzy. So Samantha at Fuzzy was awesome. I shared the video with her. She told me she thought Veronica's stomach might have been upset or something I had no idea about. She said the dogs sometimes get super drooly when they get a hit of a certain kind of pheromone.
What?
So then she gave me a bunch of advice. Thank you, Samantha.
You scared us so much. So they've agreed to give everyone a 7-day trial completely free of Fuzzy to try out. See if you like it, see if it's as good as we're saying it is. We'll have a link below, yourfuzzy.com/Zak to get that free trial.
We had just gotten settled in the Rocky Mountains.
And wouldn't you know it, we were taking a walk down this forest road and we saw a huge moose. These are the moments that as a dog trainer are particularly important to me. I mean, look, I know that we're giving advice to so many people all around the world. I have to make sure this advice in practice is working with my own dog. Nature isn't always guaranteed to forgive you if your dog screws up.
I'm gonna give him his distance, but I got my bear spray ready. Well, you have to test them to make sure they work.
This is bear spray.
I'm telling you, when you're out here in this part of the country, we don't go anywhere without this stuff.
They're the most dangerous animal out here, even though there's bears and other predators.
He's watching us.
Yeah, they'll stomp you to death. They will kill you. They'll kill your dog if your dog charges them.
That's why we spend so much time focusing on the multitude of ways to train stay and come, and in every conceivable context that we possibly can.
Inertia, there's a moose over there.
I know. Yeah, she sees him.
Yep, that's a moose.
At our home in Alaska, we've seen moose in the past.
But like through the window or in the yard maybe.
All in a place where there was a layer of safety should things have gone south. And Inertia barks at them.
Yeah, she likes to bark at a lot of moose-like animals.
For more longtime viewers who have seen how I've trained Inertia around ungulates, you'll know that it's been a process to get her to be obedient anytime she detects any type of large mammal. When she was a puppy and I would take her to the French Quarter in New Orleans, we would encounter mules and she would lose her mind. Because Inertia is more naturally reactive to those things than some other dogs are. Fortunately, she's doing really well and continues to impress us. So here's what I'm thinking at this moment. I'm like, all right, I put in the work with Inertia. I want to test my training at a safe distance. So the moose looks relatively stable as long as I don't get probably 1 inch closer.
You've gotten to know moose a little better now than you used to know them.
I wonder if I could train a moose.
Inertia, come. Good girl. So that's the first instance of me being able to call Inertia off of a moose without a wall between us. I've done training like this in our Alaska house where she would see one out the window and I was able to call her.
Moose in our backyard.
But here, you know, she definitely was perked up and focused on the moose. And I was able to say, Inertia, come. And she did. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Good job, Inertia. That was really good. I just picked Veronica up because we are not there yet.
She's still so young. I can't expect her to have this kind of impulse control right now. And when we're encountering a wild animal and we're with our dogs, our attitude is pretty much to de-escalate or get away. We don't want our dogs barking at animals.
Yeah, dogs have a way of escalating the situation when they see a wild animal, and that's usually not what you want.
And I hate to say this to you guys, but there's no way to train your dog how to magically not be intrigued by wild animals all at once. I'm gonna show you how we go about training Veronica to be obedient around wild animals.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about this series is we can just literally show you, like in real life as we do it.
What do you guys think? Are you guys enjoying the real-time training where we're literally showing you multiple examples in real life as they occur? One area of improvement for Veronica that she desperately needs is stay. I mean, she's really good at stay when I say sit. and I even move around a little bit. Okay. And I release her from the stay. She's doing really good with that. But really, that's only one type of stay. Traditionally, we dog trainers think of stay in 3 broad categories. Stay for a period of time. Stay with distance. That's when we're farther away from our dog. And stay while distracted, which is when they stay when something is moving or exciting them, and they summon the self-discipline to hold that position. Of course, Veronica has a long way to go with her self-discipline. See, right there, she's distracted by something. Very alert. This isn't just a yappy bark. This is a dog who sees something, the wind blowing, I'm not sure. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge the fact that she came back to me there. I'm letting her bark intentionally here to satisfy her curiosity, given where we are right now. Also, it could be a bear. It's so tempting to discipline barking, but keep in mind, dogs need to bark. Yes. It's a natural expression for them. Granted, we don't want them doing it all the time, but to expect a dog to be quiet all the time is just, it's not ethical. But the real question for me is, can I get her under control after a brief barking outburst? And then hopefully we can minimize unwanted barking over time. That's because if you're trying to resolve a behavior, you want to understand why they're barking. I think a lot of people will look at that and say, Zach, you're just letting her bark. You're not addressing it at all. I'm doubling down on this idea that it's important for her to be able to express emotion she's having within reason, allow her to adapt for a second, and then try to communicate with her once her state of excitement is a little bit lower. And in the spirit of positive reinforcement training, my emphasis is on letting her know what I do like instead of what I don't like. It is shocking how much progress you can make with that strategy. And we really continue negotiating this barking issue while trying to train other things like stay in this case. I think the problem that most of us have with stay is when our dog wants to go after something. You can say stay all day long, but if I say stay and I throw that, I mean, you see how she just went after it. She needs to know to hold stay when she's distracted. That could have just as easily been a sprinting moose out of the forest, or a bear while we're taking a walk, or a pronghorn.
Wow, look, they hopped. They did the thing.
Here. Good. Yes. See how she wants to come towards me when I put her in that stay? Just asking her to sit in this context is asking her to stay, but also use the word stay because it certainly can't hurt.
So sit means stay and stay means stay.
Right.
Why even teach stay?
Often when I'm teaching more nuanced behaviors, it's a really good thing to be able to pause your dog right there. Like say you're teaching bow and you want to be able to be like, stay right there. Stay means freeze. Sit means hold that position until you're released. So does down.
Are your pencils on fire?
Sit. Yes. Called stay. I'm trying to be able to back away a sec, come here and give her a reward. Yes. The goal is to have her hold that sit position, which she's not quite doing. The thing about Veronica, though, is she tends to close that distance by breaking stay, coming up a few inches and then sitting. So I really think I need to make this easier for her by promptly acknowledging successful stays more quickly. Yes. Now stay with me and you're going to see this evolve quickly. Yes. I know it looks like I'm using a lot of treats here. Keep in mind, these are tiny treats, but they're very high quality. See how I'm building the distance and promptly rewarding? I'm not combining distance with a period of time right now. She is just going nuts over the ground sense, really making our training extra challenging. Yes. 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 And I love how we're not having to intervene and say no, no, when she's not doing the right thing. If your dog isn't doing the thing you want, break it down smaller, catch them succeeding, and when you get that tiny bit of traction, that's all you need. And this is why positive reinforcement is so powerful. You don't wait for them to fail. It's predictable she's going to fail, so I don't want to correct her when she fails. I want to celebrate her when she's succeeding. Good. Okay. Instead of having to do this fast dancing with her, I really need to try to teach her how to slow dance now. Yes. See how I'm slowing down the rate at which I'm rewarding now? Yes. Okay. Yes. And I'm gonna reward her on that. So a little bit better that time. You saw how we went from yes, yes, yes to yes, yes,
Yes. And so you can see where this is trending, right? I think a lot of people will see that is too many treats right there. That is not realistic for everyday people. There's a path forward to not being reliant on treats.
And as counterintuitive as it is, the trick is to use more treats, especially in the beginning of training something new.
Yeah, the fastest way to get to using less treats is to use more treats.
It's no different than when you're a kid and your teacher gives you candy or whatever their reinforcement was. You don't require candy to solve 2 + 2 anymore. You learn how to do the thing without the reward, but in the beginning it's very helpful. For new tasks, I like to use a really top-notch, high-quality treat. We've been using Pupford as a substitute for real meat all the time on this trip for obvious reasons.
It's not really a substitute, it is real meat.
That's true.
But it's freeze-dried, and so you can put it in your pocket without being nasty.
Getting caught without treats is the easiest mistake to make as a new trainer or even an experienced one.
Literally, my morning routine at this point is I wake up, I grab a handful of freeze-dried chicken, and I shove them in the pocket of my jeans.
The most effective known way to teach another animal is through reinforcement. So by giving them a treat that they really like, you're sealing in that behavior more and more. And the great thing about Pupford is they have so many different types of super high quality treats. We'll have a link in the description where you can check out Pupford's awesome treats.
Sit. Yes. Oh, we got a dog. Off-leash dog. This is the thing about training in the real world. Things like that are going to happen. You're going to see off-leash dogs. We saw an off-leash moose earlier today. And we're asking for it, right? We're out here in public. We're trying to experience the world and all of those random things that the world has. But there is such little room for error. And with her being a small dog, there's even less room for error. Being alert at all times is really important when you're training a dog. She seems to understand stay in a limited capacity unless something exciting happens. And I don't know about you guys, but that's when I want my dog to stay the most. She's demonstrated that she wants to chase a moving stick or a rock or whatever it is. My objective is to keep her from doing that. And then hopefully, once she understands that, I can build on that for her to start generalizing stay when a number of moving or exciting things happen around her. In other words, we're trying to teach her more mature impulse control. So I'm gonna zoom in on the action here and go in slow motion, right? So here, yes. At this point, honestly, I don't care if it's a down stay, a sit stay, or a stand stay. I just don't want her going after this. Yes!
By making these movements more subtle and slowing them down and allowing her time to process what I'm asking, Veronica is more likely to succeed than if I were to throw the stick several feet away really fast several times in a row. If your dog is failing, that's because you're asking too much of them and they haven't been appropriately set up for the thing you're asking them to do. Full stop. We have to take accountability.
Yes. I am going to start to teach her the word stay. Stay. Yes.
When she's in a sit or when she's in a down, it's implied that she needs to hold that position and stay. However, I'll still use the word stay in combination with these behaviors sometimes as well.
Let's try a rock.
That's significant because it's a completely different object this time. It's not a stick.
Yes.
And she knows that, and she's doing great.
Good girl.
Typically, the risk of failure is going to be higher when a variable like this is changed, which is why I want to get her used to staying in a variety of different contexts. Sometimes a stick flies past her, sometimes a rock drops from the sky, and sometimes a dog runs down the road. Ultimately, in the future, I'm going to expect her to stay in all of these circumstances as she develops these skills.
Okay, come on. Good girl. You're probably noticing how I'm doing something a little different by training her to stay for that distraction. I'm really close to her. Dogs are much more likely to listen to us the closer we are to them. So when introducing a really tough concept for a dog, like stay when you want to go, being close to them is likely to help.
Before, when I would suddenly surprise her and throw a stick, she instantly broke her stay. But let's see if I can duplicate that same action, but have her stay this time.
Veronica, here, stay. Yes. And so there I'm trying to surprise her a bit more and not give her as much notice. You see that?
I just want to point out how we haven't had to use any type of physical correction at any point during any of this training.
Stay. Yes. So now look what we're doing.
We're adding the distraction while I'm moving a little farther away. So we're combining both elements, distance and distraction, in one lesson. That's some fancy schmancy dog training right there.
Stay. Yes. Stay. Here. Come. Sit.
Yes. So right there, I stole a couple of extra skills to give her a treat. And that's what I like to do when they start to get it. Okay.
I'm so proud of her.
Staying for rocks and sticks is good and it's a step in the right direction, but we need our dogs to do even better. I think in a future episode, we're gonna cover how we take that to the next level.
Yeah, we need to do that like now.
Okay, we'll do it next video.
Okay.
But there's still more to do in this video.
I know.
We can't build Rome in a day. There's still a lot of work to do, but we still need to get around and see what's around here. I just can't imagine that we're gonna run into any more wildlife at all.
A fox.
Look at that. These two are working together. Yeah. I started recording once I saw this, so you can see. When Veronica just sees someone, she just starts barking.
Everyone. She's like, it's someone. Hey, guys, it's someone. Look, someone. Hello, someone.
But Bree is getting so good at just snapping into training mode, getting our attention on her, continuing to do that consistently.
Yeah, the pocket treats make all the difference.
Yeah, one treat in your pocket. I don't know if we've done a thumbs up for Bree in a while. You really need one. She's been killing it with Veronica, hasn't she?
You don't have to.
This place is crazy. Veronica, you are seeing so much right now. I hope you appreciate it. Inertia loves sniffing. She's getting so many smells. This is her favorite thing in life.
All right, it's Veronica's first rushing river. What do you think?
Veronica has been very noise sensitive, and we're taking a walk in this neighborhood, really tiny town in Colorado, in the Rocky Mountains. I think this feeds the Colorado River, actually.
Veronica's seeing new things left and right, and she definitely thinks this bridge is a little sus. There you go. You guys gave her confidence.
She's not used to it either, actually. She's more nervous than Veronica.
They should be. This is dangerous. Dry land. Good job. You want to go see what you conquered? Oh, now she's happy because she did it. Hey, we can't do zoomies here. Veronica, be good. Yeah, she's working on it.
And our adventure has led us to this location, Lake Granby. We're in the Rocky Mountains. I think there's like an incredible drought in the region. Nonetheless, Veronica's getting a kick out of it. Inertia is loving the smells. You can just see she's in heaven right now. I bet this smells really unique because it was recently covered in water. Veronica, this is her first time on sand, so she's getting to know that new texture.
Let's see if she'll go in the water. What do you think?
Seems like she likes the water.
She got muddy so fast. Oh no.
You're getting an Uber home.
Good job, Veronica. Rocky Mountain water.
Going to a dynamic environment like this is yet another opportunity to show our dogs how varied and diverse their world is. Experiencing new places is a huge part of successfully training dogs. There's a large body of water, lots of different rocks of varying textures and composition, sand to experience and feel and run in,
Relax, Veronica.
a variety of plants, and zillions of other scents that you and I can't even detect.
I know, you do try, especially with those rocks though. Look at this one.
Yeah.
It looks so interesting.
Yeah, very. Oh, look, it's so brittle.
Break it. Oh, you broke it. There you go.
Isn't that beautiful? It's just ancient sand or something.
Oh, it tastes like ancient sand?
Yeah. I thought it might be salty. It hasn't seen the light of day in millions of years.
I know, now it does. She's like, why are we tasting these rocks? What do you think? Does it taste ancient?
Heads up, if we have any geologists or people who are really interested in rocks, I'm probably gonna have a lot of questions moving forward.
You can email him. And I found these awesome plants and they're so cool. And I really want to take Veronica's picture. And she will not stay, even with the treat. Sit. Oh, of course you're perfect now. Stay. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
This was a really productive outing, and it was time to go back and rest, and you would like to think that that meant, oh, okay, I'm done dog training. Not with our guys. Inertia has seen a tea kettle for the first time, I think. It's okay, that's normal.
Veronica, it's in the kitchen, silly dog.
I know, that's annoying.
That's how it tells us that it's done. Good girl. Good job, Veronica. That was so good. Okay.
Veronica, sweetheart. Good, yes. I like that you looked at me that time. Quiet, yes. That's right, quiet.
She's definitely starting to know what quiet and relax mean, though. Or not.
And as we've talked about many times with Veronica, barking is natural for dogs. In many, if not most cases, when dogs bark, they're expressing a very real emotion, and learning to understand that emotion rather than just label it as, oh, I don't want to hear that because it doesn't make sense to me, is helpful. Ultimately, long term, we want our dogs to be able to vocalize and express emotions. We just want them to do it in a way that is less offensive to us people, I guess. In the same way that kids scream and cry a lot of the time, it's because they don't know how to talk or express their emotions yet. Okay. Yes. Girl, looking at me and behaving nicely is what gets you stuff. Veronica! Here. Yes. But really, her barking is starting to become more reserved. It is starting to become quieter in many more instances. Relax. Very good.
Nice.
And relax doesn't just mean lie down for 3 seconds. It means chill out. Yes. Good girl.
There you go.
And repeat as necessary.
Sometimes when I do this, she like barks as soon as she gets her
Yes.
treat.
I know, and
But
that's
I
why.
feel like she's starting to get
Well,
the
then you don't
picture.
just stop there. I think you got to now follow up every 30 seconds, or 10 seconds, or 2 seconds, or 5 minutes, depending on where you are in the training, depending on that particular context. How riled up is the dog in that moment? Are they easier to work with, or are they really over threshold? You know, you got to like weigh all of those variables in every individual situation with every individual dog.
Yep, and I've been trying to do that, but you're definitely making faster progress, although... Whoops.
Veronica, hey, can you relax? Notice her processing my request, then looking out of the window, maybe thinking about barking, and then looking back at me and ultimately relaxing as requested.
Yay! And show them how you look when you say relax. I've been filming her in case she does it, because I don't want to
So I try not to let her see a treat, you know, because I don't want it to have to be contingent upon getting a treat for her to do the thing, so it's relax.
With a hand signal.
Yeah, relax. That's how I do it. I mean, you know, you could do relax if you wanted. You could do relax. It doesn't really matter what you do, but...
Relax.
There we go, good. And see, this is a more proper relax. You can see her position here, how she's curled up. She's not in that, like, sphinx down or looking for another treat. It seems like she's starting to understand the concept. These are what I'm most proud of with these videos, is we are really capturing the transitional behaviors leading up to the completed behavior.
Oh, I love a good settle scene. It's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Because that is a hard thing to capture on video.
Yeah, you can't just like show how to train an organic settle in like a setup training lesson. You really have to capture it in the moment.
Yep, as it happens for real. That's normal. I know, he's right there. It's normal. Look, he's right there.
Really tough for her.
Yes. Veronica.
Okay, Bree is trying to preempt a serious barking outburst.
Yes, good girl. I like that she's not barking, right?
I think it's fantastic.
She's like barely listening to me, but she's not barking. Yes, quiet. Good. I don't mind if you watch if you're quiet. Oh, do you want to relax?
Yeah, look at that. She just offered
You
it.
do?
Yes.
Good girl. That's relaxed. That's so good.
Just because you leave home to live in a tiny trailer does not mean that the landscape people don't still come by and do their thing. We just had a new exposure here with her seeing these hardworking people in the background doing their thing and using shovels and cutting branches.
That was
Yeah.
so good.
You can see in how we're in this like battle, in air quotes, of she'll do it for a second, but you need it longer than a second. It is getting easier by the day to quell these outbursts. One of the things that's key to this is regular exercise, pretty much daily. She's got some energy, and being able to harness that energy and get it to expel from her in a very specific way on our schedule is important for me.
I like when she expels it by running instead of barking.
You can pick the way that you want the energy to come out. It can come out in the form of excessive barking, or
Digging,
Yeah.
chewing up your house, crazy leash pulling.
or you can prioritize teaching a polished game of fetch. One area that she has to improve on is bringing it directly back to us.
Yes, she does.
So we found this fenced area here, and we're letting the dogs get some exercise. 70 degrees. Hey, it's 90 in New Orleans right now, by the way. I really like to take advantage of cool weather where we can, and we knew that the Rocky Mountains were cooler than New Orleans right now by a lot.
Yes! Good girl! Good job! What big air! That was so good. Ready? Good girl. Veronica, the frisbee dog. Good. She's doing so well. You're so good. Ready?
Could not agree more. She's continuing to excel with her fetch, so exercise like this definitely makes training easier going forward. If you're looking for a shortcut, this is the closest thing I know of.
Yes. I don't think we've said it enough. Treats in your pocket and exercise, guys.
Hey.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Thanks for cooking.
My pleasure. I enjoyed it.
We're in the Rocky Mountains right now, staying at this campground. I'm watching the moon go up, and I'm like, why is there a chunk out of the moon? It's a lunar eclipse. I've never accidentally looked at an eclipse before, to my knowledge. It's called a super blood moon eclipse.
Yeah.
Relating it to dog training, when dogs see something new, they're like, I've never seen that before. That's unusual. Kind of what it's like, seeing a super blood moon eclipse, I guess. What is that? That's weird. That's what training is about, teaching our dogs to understand things that they don't understand. Here it looks like a big red planet in the sky. That's awesome. Neat. This unusual, rare, super blood moon eclipse is probably an omen for things to come, because this dog training series is not business as usual by any stretch. We're in Colorado, we've made it to the Rocky Mountains, and we've seen that these mountains are full of moose and chock full of other wildlife, unpredictable weather. Nothing about this part of the country is predictable. We've just had to make an emergency stop. You need to be honest about Veronica's potty training.
It's going so great. Veronica peed on my bed last night.
Oh man.
I want that stay that you promised, the life-saving one, ASAP.
But seriously guys, we would welcome your feedback on this series. What are you liking about it? What do you think we could do better? This is kind of a passion project for both of us, and we really want to make sure that we're delivering on your expectations while also doing what we want to do.
Yeah, do you like choose your own adventure? Because this is that. Tell us what you want us to do.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
You can choose our own adventure.
Should we stop by your house? Leave your address below. Don't do that.
Don't leave your address on YouTube.
Try Fuzzy, the vet on your iPhone that you have 24-hour access to. 7-day free trial, yourfuzzy.com/Zak. We're also gonna have a link to Pupford's treats in the description. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. I've written 2 books. Check those out if you're interested in dog training books. If you guys are enjoying this series, if you find value in it, subscribe. Tell your friends about it too.